The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Wicked Weed Studios, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Jeremy Greene. He's Tommy Bradley, and this is our UFC 263 betting picks from the Sportsocracy.
That's right, guys. We're going to be bringing down some UFC 263. I'm your host, Tommy Bradley, a.k.a. The Real Tampa Tommy, a.k.a. Break Even Stevens. I'm alongside my guy, Jeremy Greene, a.k.a. he'll take the over while he's under his hot wife.
Bingo.
We're going to be breaking down some fights from Saturday night's card. It's a really awesome card. There's not a lot of cards you can look at and just say, like, there's no way this sucks. It can't be boring. There's a lot of, like, really exciting fighters in here. I actually like a lot of fights on the undercard. Is there one that sticks out to you?
My guy, Chase Hooper. I mean, this is a guy that fights out of Upstate Karate, which is close to here. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's gym.
Shout out Wonderboy.
I'm not going to lie. This is a get-right fight for him. And that's probably my favorite money line pick because I don't see any way that he loses to Steven Peterson.
Yeah, I get it. He's a great young fighter.
I'm not notorious for betting undercard fights, especially like prelim fights, because there's just no way for I'm not going to say I'm a lackadaisical UFC fan. I love the UFC. The smaller guys, things can happen. I don't necessarily see it. I get caught. I tend to play the main card and some of the prelims. I know there's a fight on the prelim card that you really like. Yeah, the
undercard's a bit of a proving ground, so it is a little bit tough to bet. We just thought we'd throw in a couple of picks for you guys. The one I really like is Brad Riddell as a 1+115 dog. I mean, Drew Dober's a great fighter, but those city kickboxing guys, him, Adesanya, all those guys out there, they come in with really great game plans. So I'd feel good about putting money on Riddell as a dog on that undercard. Lauren Murphy's also won 4 of her last 5 fights. She's fighting JoJo Calderwood, who's a tough fighter, but Murphy does have momentum going into the fight, so she's a +125 dog. She could be a good bet as well. But then let's get into this main card. It's going to be an exciting card.
I'm not going to lie to you. I like Drew Dober in that undercard fight. Just throwing that out.
Oh, he's a great fighder. I'm just saying, if you were to pick one dog.
If you're going to pick the dog.
I like Riddell just to be able to do an upset there. But yeah.
If I was going to pick a dog on the undercard, it would probably be Hakeem Dawodu.
He's got all the talent. He's got the talent to be a perennial top 10 in his division. He's just been inconsistent. He hadn't been able to string it together. He's facing a tough guy, but I had him down as another one that he's inconsistent, but as a +195 dog, I mean, he's got all the talent.
I got him at +225 right now.
Oh, really?
Which is why I like it, because I actually think he's going to lose, but that's the only one that's above +175 that I feel that I can even convince myself to take the bet on. Now, getting into the main card, you got Paul Bear Jew Craig, 14-4-1 against Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. What's your take on this one? Tommy, what'd you call yourself? Tommy?
I'm the Real Tampa Tommy.
The Real Tampa Tommy,
Break
Bradley.
Even Stevens, Parlay Poppy as well. I go by a lot of names on the streets, on the betting
streets. Never trust a guy with a city in his name.
But I like the young prospect Hill at -300. There's some bad blood, but this kid's undefeated. He looks smooth. He goes to a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu gym. I just like the young prospect to keep the momentum rolling. He's facing a tough guy in Craig, but even at -300, I've still got to go with Hill.
I'm going to take Jamal Hill too. This is one that I tried to convince myself to go. Otherwise, Paul Craig's just been up and down.
Yeah.
It seems like every time I believe in him, he lets me down. When I don't believe in him, he surprises me.
Yeah.
So I've been very wrong on this guy before, but I'm going to take Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. I would say this is a second-round knockout.
Ooh.
If I was betting the prop, I would 100% take Jamal Hill in the knockout.
Wow.
Second fight of the main card, Damian Maia against Bilal, remember the name, Muhammad. What's your take on this fight at 170?
I mean, Bilal came into that last Leon Edwards fight where he got poked in the eye, winning 8 of his last 9. He's been on fire. He's a good fighter. And Damian Maia, of course, if he can ever get you to the ground, get his hands on you, he can choke you out. If he gets a limb, it's over. But he's aging He's lost his last
and he's
few fights.
44 years old.
Right.
Or he will be 44 in November.
Yeah, and he's not aging well. Like the things that he needs to get you to the ground. Of course, jiu-jitsu skills don't go as quick as other skills, but you have to get someone to the ground to be able to use those jiu-jitsu skills. And his takedowns have been slower. And somebody like Bilal, who's a good striker that can keep a little bit of distance, that's going to be quicker, obviously, than Maia. I don't see a way Damian pulls it off unless he gets really lucky catching a limb in a transition somewhere.
This is one of the best. This dude never gets taken down. I want to say his takedown defense is like 85% or 90% or something like that. It's something astronomically high. Damian Maia's going to try to shoot him through the entire fight. I think this will go to the cards. I don't see a way. If you told me this fight ended earlier, I'll take Damian Maia. Which I know that sounds a little strange, but if I knew what round this fight ended in, I feel like I can tell you what it is. If it goes to the cards, to me, it's Belal Muhammad. I don't think it's going to be all that close. I think he wins all 3 rounds. It's pretty comfortable. And this may be the last time you see Damian Maia.
Unfortunately.
Next fight, third one on the card at 170, Leon Rocky Edwards and Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, a name that most UFC fans would know. I'm going to let you say the mean things, and I'm just going to come in and agree with you on the backside.
I mean, first, Leon Edwards. Has anybody had a tougher run than Leon Edwards? Has anyone had shittier luck than Leon Edwards? He couldn't get a fight for like 2 years. Then COVID and all these things come in. He was getting opponents backing out with injuries, things like that. Finally gets a fight against Belal Muhammad. Looks great. His kicks look great. He looked crisp. Even after all this time off, he said he doesn't believe in the whole ring rust thing. And then he ends up, during a kick, poking somebody in the eye, and they go to a no contest. So he's going to be motivated. I mean, the line is ridiculous. I mean, Leon's at minus 550. Diaz is at plus 400. But I just don't see a way that Diaz gets this done. Like, he's not getting Edwards out of there. Edwards can strike with him. He's got the stamina. The only way I see Diaz getting a win, even at this point in his career, is getting someone's back, choking him out in a transition, and I just don't see that happening with Edwards. I think if he did get in trouble, he could hold on until the bell and then pick Diaz apart in the next round.
I really wanted Vegas to give me a reason to take Nate Diaz in this fight. I did. I just can't do it. I can't. I don't see. A lot of people have said Leon Edwards is kind of a boring fighter, which I think's bullshit.
They haven't seen him in a while.
We're at a point in UFC where if you're not a knockout guy, I mean, because hell, how many cards have we had in the last, I'll say 8, that have, of the 5 main card fights, 3 have been knockouts? I feel like that's happening so often that guys that just don't finish fights, which Leon Edwards does not historically do, he winds up going to the cards, and then those guys are boring. I don't agree with that. I like watching the kid fight. I think he's going to win this fight, and it's probably a decision.
I see it going decision. I mean, Diaz is a zombie. Even if he's getting his head beat in, he's just walking towards you with his hands up, trying to act like you're not doing anything to him while he's profusely bleeding, hitting himself in the face. Like, I just see him sticking around, but I think Edwards is really going to beat him up every round. It's going to be like a 4-1, 3. I mean, I don't even see it 3-2, 4-1 or 5-0.
I'm going to be honest with you. One of my favorite ways to bet this card is a Leon Edwards Muhammad Hill parlay. In the beginning, because there's just. I could bet the props on it going to the cards because I could easily see all 3 of these fights going to the cards.
Yeah.
I'm just, somebody could get caught.
Yeah.
I don't like parlays that have less than a. I will take the lesser odds to feel really good that it happens, and I feel really good of how those 3 fights are going to end.
Yeah, for sure.
The co-main event, UFC flyweight champion Davison
Figueiredo.
There you go. Davison Daco Figueiredo and Brandon the Assassin Baby Marino. 125-pound fight.
I know.
Have at it.
Yeah, man. I know 125 has been a boring division for a long time. To be honest, as great as Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson was, I could not watch it when he was headlining the card.
You talk about a guy that fell off the world.
But if you saw Figueiredo Marino 1, you're excited about this division. You're excited about this fight. This fight was a classic. It was an absolute war. I mean, these guys went at it for 5 rounds. It was up there with the Weili Zhang Joanna fight for Fight of the Year, top 2, definitely. It was a fun one to watch, but people think, because it was a draw, that Marino might be a good bet in this one, that it's kind of even. The only reason it was a draw was because Figueiredo had a point taken away with the eye poke and then the subsequent kick to the groin, which a lot of people contested if that should have happened. And then in the 5th round, one of the judges out of nowhere gave Moreno the 5th round, which if you watch the fight, that's ridiculous. So Figgy got robbed of that one. They're both exciting fighters. Moreno's a tough freaking kid. I mean, some of the shots he took in that first one were insane, but I think Figgy gets it done. He's got so many weapons. He's quick. And I just don't see a way Moreno's going to come up with it. But if you were to pick a dog, hit this one and then the main event, I think are your two that you could. But I've got Figgy winning this one.
Moreno's the tougher guy. Figueiredo's the better fighter. There's very little that I can say Moreno does better. He's just incredibly resilient fighter. Right. I'm going to say Figueiredo wins this fight. My fear is that he comes in and tries to do the same thing he did in the last fight, which is basically just try to beat the hell out of somebody. Don't do that. Just out-technical him, out-fight him. You're better than him. Don't let the last fight take you. I'll take Figueiredo to win this fight.
That's when Moreno was, getting the shots in, was when they were just brawling. And he was hitting them with some counter punches. And he hit him with some good punches. Figueiredo's got a chin.
Yeah, if they try to fight like Jake or Logan Paul do, then Moreno's got a shot. I don't think that's going to happen.
Not a fan of the Donkey Kong punches?
No, God.
Of the Pauls?
Final fight of the night, headliner of the night, Isreal, the last style bender Adesanya, and Marvin, the Italian dream Vettori. This one's really simple to me. I'm going to let you take the lead. And
I wonder if we're on the same page with this one. So Izzy's minus 260, Vettori's plus 210. As I was saying with the last fight, if you're going to pick a dog, I can see why a lot of people are picking this one. The one chink we've seen in Adesanya's armor is when a wrestler can hold him down, when a big guy holds him down. Vettori, they fought to a close decision the first time they fought, and Vettori's gotten better, and his wrestling's gotten better, and he's a tough kid, but there are levels to this striking shit. I don't think people realize the levels to striking. And the guys at City Kickboxing, the way they find angles, the way they implement those feints as good as anyone, the way they build a system to pick apart the opponent. I mean, we've seen great fighters like Robert Whittaker, one of my favorite fighters. Izzy made him look average. I mean, the way his striking is and the way his coaches put a game plan in for him, he is just hard to figure out. Even if you're great at taking guys down, in his division, the middleweight division, he's not getting taken down. He's got great takedown defense. It's just when he went up to a bigger guy in Jan, who's a great fighter. I mean, he went straight to a championship at 205. And, he got held down. And I think these are things that he can adjust when he moves up. He can put some more weight on. But as far as this division, Izzy's king. I don't see a way that Vettori gets past him. And I think Adesanya's going to be really motivated losing his, undefeated record coming into this fight.
I will say the thing with this fight that stands out to me is that I don't think Vettori can win it. I think Adesanya would have to lose it. I think that's the only way this happens is if he comes out and just has a bad fight. And Adesanya has shown that he does not give a damn how aesthetically pleasing it is. He will have boring fights. He's just here to win. He's not necessarily here to be the most fun to watch or any of that shit. And I think at the end of the day, the length advantage, all of the advantage that Adesanya has, I'm pretty comfortable in saying he's going to win this fight. He's just so damn consistent. He's one of the most consistent fighters in all of the UFC.
You don't think he's fun to watch? You don't enjoy an Izzy fight?
I'm not.
He's had some where he's come away at the end saying, like, look, I didn't do as much as I wanted to do with this guy. But if you really are in love with striking and you know those angles and those feints that he does to get those kicks off, to get the punches off that he does, I think it's fun to watch personally, but he's just a different guy. People haven't really seen that skinny kid that just hits the long counter strikes, the awkward angles on his kicks. I think he's different, but I think he's fun to watch.
I guess that's more what I was trying to say, is that he's not one of those that's going to ham it up for audiences.
Going to knock someone out. Yeah.
He's one of those that he's here to win by any means necessary, whether it's the most aesthetically pleasing thing you've ever seen, whether the fans really like it. He's just here to win fights. I think Saturday night he's just going to win another fight and take the belt home with him.
He's death by 1,000 cuts instead of one big stab.
There you go.
Yeah.
This has been the Sportsocracy's UFC 263 betting picks. He's Tommy Bradley. I'm Jeremy Greene. As always, we've been brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing. Visit our friends Wicked Weed at wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different.